Good morning, shut-ins.
Yo, 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 yo.
How's everyone doing today? Just the little red R thing in the bar there. Just tap on that. Should bring it up. Good morning, Lady J and mean Melissa. Dean, nice to see you here nice and early. It's great to see everyone. There's some other people here too. Everyone say hi.
What's up, Melissa? How you
Heather Marie Brown.
How y'all doing?
We used to there used to be another Heather Marie that used to come and watch the show, and it would at the beginning it would get me confused.
Three Heather Maries.
Normally, you guys would have to pay extra to watch Eric brush his beard.
I'm finna cut it today. That's why I'm brushing. I ain't putting no grease in it or nothing.
Good morning, Rebecca. So Rebecca
chopped down.
Rebecca wrote to me and said that she was actually going to try to come and watch the show earlier instead of at the end because she works normally, so that's her deal.
There she is.
Good morning, Latoya with a capital T.
What's up, Rebecca? Hey, Latoya.
When I saw Rebecca shared the stream, so did
Somebody has to give Eric. What? Someone has to give Eric shirt. What does that mean? What does that mean? Give Eric shirt. Hey, Chantal.
What's up, Chantal?
Yo, this dude funny.
I need a haircut.
Yo, this dude funny.
What's up, Jordan? I see you.
Jordan Clark.
Yes.
Yo, what it do?
So, by the way, tonight
Yo, my hair getting long.
Tonight at 7:30, both you and Jordan are going to be on the Young Jerks.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, my mic. My mic.
About
What's wrong with my mic?
racism and cannabis.
There's always something wrong.
Who wants to be the mic sponsor? Who wants to buy us a new mic? We need some lovely,
Because I got extra mics. Could
beautiful
use this one. Or I can use this one.
women out there that would love
Or I can use this one.
to contribute to our mic issue.
This is the Chris Almeida mic. And this is the Chris Almeida mic. And they're all Chris Almeida mics. Because he came yesterday.
Chris Almeida. And he made the beat for us.
He made a beat for us this morning. It was pretty dope.
I was listening to it, actually. Yo, this dude be making all types of beats. It's crazy.
We got to listen to it in good speakers too.
I was sitting there thinking of what to say in mine. I found some. I think I found a couple. Oh my gosh!
I look like hell today. I think I need to crank the lights up. It's not washing out all my. You look good. I turned your lights down a little bit. I turned mine down too. And that's
Jordan caught me.
What did he catch you with?
He said, "Why I gotta be a girl? Why I gotta be a woman?" Well, I just said beautiful ladies because if I would have said beautiful man, I'm not prepared to say that, Jordan. I'm gonna be honest with you. That would have been tough for me. I'm working on it, Jordan. Like you see, I'm trying. I'm working on it, but
Good morning, Ryan.
you know,
What's up, DQ?
it's hard, man. I couldn't say it. I was just like, beautiful women out there.
So
Because I don't think a man is gonna like buy us mics over if we, talk to him that way.
Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, Jordan, you're right. He says not caught you. He held me accountable. Yeah, and I apologize for my actions. You gotta own up and man to it. Some things you say is wrong on camera.
Happens a lot.
Yeah, because you got these lights in front of you.
And we're doing it every single day for like 2
Every
hours,
single day.
So eventually we say stupid stuff. Jordan, the first time we interviewed him, he remember he was like, "Yo, you just said this. I think you meant something else, Mike." And I did.
But that's okay, Jordan. We all make mistakes, right? And then we all correct them, and we move forward. We grow from our mistakes. We don't make the same mistake twice. That's the thing. You don't make the same mistake twice.
And when I cranked that light up, it automatically made me look a little better.
That's one thing you learn in football.
Lights.
You learn to never make the same mistake twice, otherwise you're gonna be out of a job. So,
and one thing I learned about this show,
and it happens in relationships too. If you make the same mistake twice, the relationship doesn't last.
Sometimes.
Well, it depends. If the government's involved, it's kind of like forced. You know, that's the way I feel. Once you involve the government, it's kind of like it becomes like it just becomes different. You know what I mean? Different, you know. Just Willie, stop, bro. Willie is funny. Yeah, boy said just turn her over. It's okay. Yo, y'all funny in the comments. We got so many different personalities in the comments, yo. It's hard to like try to be mistake. This is where it's hard, Jordan. This is where it's hard because look at Jordan. This is where it becomes hard. I have so many different personalities in the comments that I have to be able to cater to these personalities. I have to activate them. Otherwise, they get bored and they leave, right? So there's some people in here who love to talk about a good time. And then there's people who love to talk about cannabis. And then there's people who love to talk about sports. And so I have to fulfill those, you know, daily in order for them to come in. We have to go through a checklist of things we have to talk about. This checklist doesn't exist on paper or anything. It's just naturally in our head. So like we have to like cater to them. And so Jordan, you're like you were a new personality that's been in our comments. Like me and Mike have to watch what we say when you are on because you will call us out on it. And
but in a good way. I mean,
yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like we understand we mess up. Like we not perfect, and this show is not destined for it to be perfect.
I would rather have somebody like
Jordan. Because Jordan is he's a well-spoken person, and when he calls you out, it's no disrespect, and you know that. So
Johnny Two Socks is joining us, but on Facebook, on the Facebook account that he made just so that he could come here.
What's the picture you got? What is that? A cat? Johnny, what?
So I'm not sure what it is, but
why do you have that up, bro? What?
Wait, what is it? Is it a cat? What is it?
No, I'm talking about that.
Oh, because I was gonna point out that
bro, look what this dude.
I was gonna point out that the statue has a tie on it today. Because I tied a tie to it. And by the way, I do want to say something.
This dude is bringing he is making this way more worse than it already is. We already witnessed the stuff move. We already hear it talk sometimes. We already hear random thumps and sounds and doors opening. Now he want to put a tie on it and give it a personality. Like, come on.
What's up, Millie? How are you? Thanks for watching the show. And Maureen, thanks for liking the show. And for any of you who haven't hit the like button so far,
Eric's blowing smoke up our butts.
You can hit it a little bit. That'd be cool. Just go.
That's what you think? No one said evolution was easy. Where you send focus shows what your priorities is. Anti-racism, anti-homophobic is hard work, and I hope my press isn't required to do that. Do the right thing. No, it's not.
So her eyes are open also, and they're looking.
I would like to think I am funny. I just have an evolved sense of humor. You definitely have an evolved sense of humor. I can agree with that. Jordan is so well spoken, y'all. I can't keep up.
So for those of you that are wondering what's going on with the statue, I used to live in Lizzie Borden.
I'm jealous though. I wish I could talk like that. I wish I had that power. My voice is a little different. I got like a Kodak voice. I got a Kodak black voice.
There's like 4 of us right now who know. It's so funny.
If anybody listen to Kodak's album, you know that's exactly how I talk. I don't care. I like it. That's my vibe, man. Hey.
So Johnny Susak says that's his cat Sadie, and that she likes to be in pictures, which I think is sweet. And what I will say is to everyone, Johnny Two Socks probably doesn't have any Facebook friends because he only made this account to come and watch the show.
Johnny, add me.
So
So
first
I
of all,
can know
Johnny,
more about
add
you.
Eric, but also, well, he probably doesn't want to. He's a private investigator. Doesn't want to post
care.
stuff about himself. Just his cat. He's like, yo,
I
you can
want
try
to
to find
know.
my cat.
You need to tell me more.
What's up, Sarah? Glad you made it today.
You need to tell me more about you. I need to know more. I need to see some pictures.
But everyone who's watching, who's a friend of the show, should befriend Johnny Two Socks' Facebook profile so that he feels good that he's got some.
God damn, you okay?
Slippery pants on, I guess. I don't know.
Slippery pants.
Latoya with a capital T. I am super hungry today. In fact, I have like a couple of my vitamins and then a couple of my other pills, but my stomach's growling.
Hey.
So, by the way, we have a guest on today.
He's super hungry.
We have a cultivator from Vegas. Larry Smith is coming on in a while.
Send some weed.
And Larry's a super cool guy, and he's coming on in a little bit. So you get us for now, everybody. Which makes sense because the West Coast people should probably come on the later slot, and we just have one person today, which is pretty awesome.
We having some random ass sounds outside, boy. I tell you, it be
sounds like Grand Theft Auto out there.
Exactly, that's exactly what it sounds like. Grand Theft Auto outside every day. It's
just like random, like
people screaming. It's construction. It's people arguing.
Hey, why are you like people getting carjacked?
I don't even talk about people.
We could have a show about the neighbors fighting. The neighbors are actually very entertaining.
I bet you they watch it.
I bet you they don't. Nobody we meet on the street that we tell about the show ends up watching the show.
I mean, they tune in once and then they be like, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, they're like, that's stupid. No, they're like, no wonder I never heard of this show before. So everyone, tomorrow we're not going to have like the traditional show. We're not going to be here. We're going to figure out what we're doing, but we're going to be down.
Hey, so since Latoya and Rebecca want to talk about food so much, why don't y'all just send some?
Yeah.
Why do y'all just continuously talk about it in the comments every day and don't take action?
You guys never heard about DoorDash?
Are you guys scared to take action?
Actually, don't order DoorDash. Those guys eat the food when they deliver it to you. I wouldn't.
Don't order fries.
Don't order fries.
You order anything that's loose that can be grabbed with your hands without making a mess.
So Latoya with a capital T. Let me tell you about the mics. So
no, we are going to talk about the food first.
Okay, let's talk about the food.
So Latoya,
I'm going to eat my pills.
We are hungry. Jordan, no, we do not want Arby's. Like, we are hungry, but we're not dying. You know?
I'm hungry enough.
If we're dying, maybe. You know,
Jordan, there's no Arby's that's close, so it's gonna get here cold. Which, let's be real, Arby's is barely good when it's warm. Jordan, if it's cold, it's gonna be.
Jordan said, "Why do you keep asking women to buy you food? Income equal." Okay, Jordan, you buying me food then? All right, Jordan. Actually, I want Subway today and tomorrow. Actually, no, not even today. Today, I want Subway. Tonight, I want what's that place we go to? The Portuguese place, the scallops. Antonio's. Tomorrow morning, I would like a breakfast sandwich.
Shout out to Antonio's.
I would like a breakfast burrito with egg, vegetables, all vegetables, preferably onions, tomatoes, garlic, and cilantro is kind of cool. I do like ranch dressing, so you can go to Walmart and you got to get the big ranch. If you go down the ranch aisle with all the ranches, that's the wrong aisle. You got to go down the aisle where they be having the oversized stuff, like the oversized mayo, the oversized hot sauce, and they always have an oversized ranch that's like huge. It's the huge Hidden Valley ones, like this, about this tall, about as tall as a screen. And so you can get that one. That's the ranch that I like. I have to eat ranch on everything, so actually, before you even go get the Subway today and Antonio's tomorrow, you can just get the ranch first, and I'll take that, and then you can do the rest. So, Latoya, you good now? Latoya, you ain't gotta buy nothing, cause my dog Jordan, he keep telling me I gotta spread the word to other people. So I'm just making sure Jordan understand that you gonna be our breakfast, lunch, and dinner sponsor for at least the next week, cause I got to eat and I'm a big boy.
Jordan, can you
Subway made out of yoga mats?
Yoga mats, exactly. Thank you, Willie. Thank you. It kind of is. Look, so when because he loves Subways, so there's lots of times when it's like, you know, I'm not.
I get Subway.
I am picky,
good.
but I'm not that picky. There's at least one or two things I'll get at Subway. Right?
Look, let me tell you, if you eat Subway and you think it's a problem with Subway, but you going to McDonald's or you going to Wendy's or you going to Burger King, let me tell you, you just like the words you sound. A little bit, yeah.
Well, what I would say is if you're eating garbage, then what does it matter what brand of garbage you eat?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's why. I mean, generally, I'm not like anti-Subway, but I will.
Get him. Look, it's Jordan. Look, Jordan. I'm telling you about this ranch now. Like, if you mess up,
Hidden Valley has to be Hidden Valley.
I'm gonna be real disappointed because ranch is something that I do not let go by. You a dozen times by no excuses. No, Latoya, it's not excuses. It's Jordan. Jordan did this. Jordan said that I need to ask. I gotta stop asking women for food. He said I need to ask everybody. I need to be so because I've asked women since the beginning of the show. Now, what is this, 87 episodes?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Jordan. So you got 87 episodes to buy me food because I'm trying to balance the way. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, Jordan. See, now I'm starting to feel Jordan now. I'm starting to understand what he do. I'm growing, Jordan. I promise. And best believe this food is gonna help me grow.
Billy, I change my title every day underneath. I try to come up with something new.
Nah, I'm playing, Jordan. You know I love you, man. But I'ma definitely need that Subway. And Antonio's like, you might have thought I was joking. I'm joking sometimes on camera, but when we're talking about food, it's always a serious subject. It's always serious. There's no joking about food.
And you know, there's definitely people that have brought us food, and we're really appreciative. There's also some people that are like, I'm going to bring you food, and then they just don't ever bring food or send food, and that's okay too.
It's okay to just tease us.
What's up, Nick?
You can put.
Yeah, Nick. Exactly. No, actually, Nick, it's been 87 episodes, not just 82 episodes.
How the F did these two morons last 82 episodes?
They tried canceling us, Nick. They tried canceling us, but it didn't work. We refused.
I'm a moron?
We refused to be canceled.
You just called me a moron?
Maybe he means me in the statue.
Huh.
It could be that.
Hey, Nick, I mean, you can just shoot your address in my DM. We can talk about this. I appreciate you calling me out my name. That makes me feel special.
Well, he didn't. He just said these two morons. Maybe he meant two morons in the audience.
That makes me feel special. So I would love to send you a present to your address. I will hand deliver it myself, and it'll probably be 2 presents. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but they will be nice. Oh, he said, no, I mean Mike and Eric. So he was definitely talking about us. That's cool. I appreciate that.
Everyone make sure that you click love on Nick's stuff.
I appreciate that.
I know we appreciate it.
And
because Nick, we're glad you're watching. Maybe that's
Well, I mean, I'm not mad. I don't mind being called out of my name. I just like to hear it in person. I like,
you know what? If there's gonna be,
I'd definitely like to hear being called out of my name in person.
If there were 5 of them in the audience, then just make sure, dude. Make sure you
I definitely like to be called out of my name in person. In person. So you can just forward your address, or you can just, I can give you mine. Whatever you want to do, we can just talk about it. We can talk about it in person. Whenever you want. Just whenever. Preferably today. Appreciate that.
What's up, Kathleen? How are you? Thanks for liking the stream. So, dude who doesn't like the show, it's totally cool. Just click the hate button. We like the feedback. Just mash on it. Like, do a whole bunch of hates. Like, hate. Because I can see it. You can do it. Look, I'll do it for you. Look, ready? Hate. So you can do that.
Shoot your address, pimp. Oh, my God. I love it, Nick. I love it. I called you out your name this morning. Yeah, that's rude. Calling people out of their names is rude. I don't call people out of their names. I like to be called out of my name. Because as they say, and this is like true, every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction.
No, look, so what I'll say though is everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Of course.
I
just wanted to talk to him in person. That's it. I just wanted to hear his opinion in person. Because, sometimes you don't get the emotion out of comments. Like, y'all can say something in comments and you could put LOL. But most times when you put LOL, are you really laughing out loud?
What's up, Trish?
Are you really going, ah, ha, 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 ha?
Trish hit the like.
Or when you put LOL, you just like this.
DQ's trying to be like, yo, Dairy Queen's in the house.
So I just wanted to make sure that, his tone was, nice when he said, what are these two morons doing on TV?
82. No, the thing is he like underplayed it even. He underplayed it.
That boy, he had some strong words for us.
He underplayed it because I brought. Hey, what's up, Amy? Thanks for coming to watch the show. Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time, by the way. Like, I was always confused why people kept coming back to watch the show.
I mean, true.
Right?
I guess we found out why today.
No, and I like that somebody doesn't like us enough that they would come to tell us they don't like us. Mm-hmm. As opposed to just not liking us and then...
I think it'd be nice to just see them in person and talk about it. Be so nice.
Johnny Two Socks, you were never the most annoying person. Johnny Two Socks, you were actually you're like the you were like the Twitch breath of fresh air, and we're glad you're here on Facebook with us.
Look, we love everybody, but just understand when you see us in public, it don't go how it goes in these comments.
Yeah, DQ, I agree.
I had a nice
Trish,
workout
make sure
today.
you travel safely today. And yes, Eric gets up super early now every day and goes and does workout stuff. Trish, you don't have to stop. You don't have to.
He said,
"Look,
yo, look what he said." Hey,
hold on one second.
Oh, shoot. He said, if I was a career second stream, I'd be mad as hell too, Eric. I love it. That hit right there. That hit me right there where it hurt. Oh, I know you sitting back laughing watching this. That hit me right there. That did. That hurt me. I was a career second streamer. Why would you talk about me like that, man? Why would you do that to me on camera?
Oh. Yeah, it's not. I realize that, Jordan. I'm trying.
Yeah, I don't care. Y'all thought I was crying. No, it do look like I was crying a little bit, though. Because that hurt. That hurt my feelings. We can move on from this. I'm okay.
I mean, I know everyone loves to egg you on anyway.
Hey, look it, bro. I'm not mad about my career, bro. I had fun. I was reckless. I had fun. I had fun, my man. I was a backup. I was a backup to some really good players. I was backup to Rob Ninkovich. So that's a good career backup, I feel like. I was a backup to Paul Kruger, who's a 2-time Super Bowl champ. Nink is a 3-time. So yeah, I was backed up to some Super Bowl champs, and then that's crazy. I ended up being one. So yeah, my career backup was fun. It was fun.
We should have him come into the commentary day. It's better than that caffeine pill.
I took it super early this morning, so it actually wore off. It's wearing off right now. Oh yeah, Nick, that hurt. Oh no, I'm Jordan. Look, I'm not Jordan. That doesn't bother me, Jordan. I promise. Like, listen, you don't realize what I face as a football player. Like, I was in Mexico, and I was tortured for a week straight by a Steelers fan. Like, I'm not hurt. I've had many people tell me I'm a backup. I wasn't good. I was a terrible player. And the thing about all the people that said that, none of them was actually football players. So that's why it doesn't bother me. I'm not dismissing your feelings, Jordan. I'm not dismissing your feelings. I'm just letting you know that you don't have to defend me because I'm built for this. I'm built to take heat. I'm built to stand in front of crowds and be booed. I was built for that. I was born to do this. This putting up with trolls is what I do. And most of the trolls are only online. I've met a few trolls in person, but the way the situation gets handled is, they just laugh it off and kind of, because I have a real straight, serious face. And I understand you're built, but Jordan, like, you don't have to respond to everybody. Like, some people, that's their release for the day. That's their release. They need to release. They need to dump their garbage somewhere. Everybody builds up garbage throughout the week. Little things is you putting stuff in the garbage, and then you finally hit that point where it's garbage day, and you got to dump your garbage in somebody's truck. And I don't mind being a garbage truck that pick up every Thursdays, or what's today? Friday. I don't mind being a garbage truck that pick up on Fridays. It's a good day, As long as that make them feel better, then next time they, interact with somebody else, somebody else can respond to them. But, we don't have to respond to that.
I think
let's give college athletes a degree. He's dumb as a rock. See, that's the kind. He said this dude is the textbook example of let's give college athletes a degree. He's dumb as a rock, and that's true. I am. I'm dumb as a rock. I am completely dumb. You hurt my feelings today. You got to me, bro. You won. Is that what you wanted to hear? You won. I don't deserve my college degree. I don't deserve to be a football player. I don't deserve to win a Super Bowl. I don't deserve anything. You're right. You should give yourself a pat on the back. You're right. I don't deserve any of this. And I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
We should just start Troll Tuesdays.
I have to live with this, And then, I bump into people like you, and I just want to give you a hug. Just a nice hug. So, when we meet, I would love to give you a hug, and we can settle out our differences. maybe you'll say some nice things about me. But you can keep throwing shade at me. I've had so many people talk about me.
So I think it's that you later, Jordan. Jordan, we'll see you tonight at 7:30. When you're going to be on the Young Jerks talking about racism with Jordan and Tiffany Bowden and a bunch of other cool people.
Hey, Willie, you can help yourself with that, my brother. I'm not interested.
Willie's like trying to do his part to help change the subject.
I don't have to, but I choose to. I want you, and what did I say?
I think you should just start charging trolls. Like, if you want to come into the comments and troll and you want Eric to reply to you,
I will.
Drop a 20.
Drop
a 20.
I will give you what you want. Yeah, you donate to a charity of my choice, and I give you what you want. We can talk, and you can talk about how bad I suck. How you can talk about all that, because I love hearing it. I love hearing it. Because back in the day, I would have probably responded to it, but now I'm just like, You say you think you're tough. I was torched by an $8 one eye.
Does he mean touched or? Because it's torched, and I don't know if he means like
torched, like you got
he burned.
robbed.
He got burned by an $8 one-eyed hooker. Johnny, at least she didn't have 2 eye patches.
Troll. Eric's a pretty good guy. No, I'm not. I'm a backup, career backup guy is what I am. That's who I am. Yo, that's funny. That's funny.
I am. Usually, though, we get them on Twitch. And they're not here to talk about the cannabis community. They're here to talk about, like, Nazism. And this guy wasn't here to talk about the cannabis community either. And I can think of a few people that that he could be. People are messaging me asking if they want us to block him, and I'm like,
nah, don't block him. Nah, let him keep coming back.
But I don't want you to keep. Like, it's not necessarily productive for you to be, because we got, like, a bunch of other people. Yeah, it's a fake account.
I like responding. It's interesting.
No, it's a fake account, though.
Oh.
They just made it.
Oh, just right now?
Well, like, recent enough that it's definitely a fake account. Oh, there's my keyboard.
I wonder who that was. They obviously know I play ball. They was obviously a fan. I'm a fan of you.
Well, it's interesting because 80 mutual friends. I don't know. It's a fake account.
Huh. That's dope. 80 mutual.
Cool. No, I don't want to. Now I don't want to block him at all. Or it is a fake account, and there's just a lot of people in the cannabis industry that don't care about who's friends. Johnny Two Socks, how come you don't go to Twitch anymore? Probably because we're here. He's like, what do I need to go to Twitch for?
Trolls are everywhere.
I only go to Twitch to see Eric and Mike. I wonder what Johnny Two Socks was. You must have been watching video game stuff.
Hungry. Your secret admirer, maybe. Of course, I got a lot of secret admirers. I got a lot.
So, by the way, up soon, and this is for the guy, whatever his name is, who was like, "What's going on with this cannabis show?" We are going to have Larry Smith on in a little bit. Normally, we have 2 guests on. But today we just had one. Beard Nation. Mm-hmm. I need a haircut, by the way.
I'm cutting my beard today.
Are you? Yeah. But when you say cut it, you're like cutting it, right?
No, I'm just cutting it low.
Oh, okay. Because before you were saying you were going to shave it.
My beard is long. I'm telling you, these hairs.
What happened to your beard thing?
I still got it. I just don't be wearing it.
You notice I call it a thing and not the other thing? Because I'm trying to be nice because you don't.
The dude called my thing a bra, yo.
Panties.
That's cold.
Beard panties.
Beard panties. Y'all hear that?
Because they're like silky and nice and stuff.
I'm a public admirer. Oh, yeah? You admire me, LaToya? Or you admire Mike? Because I feel like you're a Mike admirer, not an Eric admirer.
I'm pretty sure.
She's
not a Mike admirer.
I'm pretty sure. Why you say it like
What's up, Hako? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, dude.
The chin pubes. What you talking about, Willie? Willie always saying some out of line stuff. Willie, you do not have a filter, my brother. I'm glad you live your life on the edge. You live your life on the edge because these comments stick for a while, my brother. You might want to start filtering through them before they come back. Like, hey, remember that comment from June 26, 2020? You was commenting on disruptive marriage. You can be like, what?
There's definitely people that come in the comments and they're like, didn't I remember you said you didn't like mushrooms? Because they'll remember from 80 episodes
Mike
ago.
Don't mess with no mushrooms.
Yeah, so Dean, it's a thing that he wears. It was almost like a COVID mask, except it doesn't go over your nose, and you wear it at night. And apparently, I guess, what do you sleep in it?
It keeps your chin. When you chocolate, your hair is a little different
because it's curly, right? It's a lot curlier.
So you gotta treat it different. So sometimes you gotta wrap up your hair at night. You know, women be doing it all the time.
So maybe this would be really strange, and I just don't know because I'm just asking. Would people ever put some sort of straightener in their beard to get the hair to try to be more straight? I have no idea. I'm just asking. Because obviously my hair is so straight, I would have to use stuff to curl my hair. You know what I'm saying? To make it curly if I wanted it curly. I'm just wondering if anyone out there, if that would ever be a thing. If you have curly beard hair and you want it to be like Hako. Hako's is and just goes down.
DQ said, I think what this show gives me is a sense of fun with the host to viewer interaction. Well, thank you.
Oh, Vanessa's saying we had this conversation already about beard straightener.
I never used the bra for my beard. Well, Willie, you don't understand, my brother. You just don't understand. And that's okay. There's a lot of people that don't understand.
So DQ, though, beard iron, it wouldn't be good for him, though.
I have a beard straightener. I just haven't used it in a while because I've been planning on cutting my beard for a while to start over. I have to start over. My beard isn't what it used to be. But I need to start over in the summer so it can actually grow in. If I start over in the winter, it's not going to grow.
So Nice Hug Sarah says that her husband straightens his beard with a thingamajig.
Yeah, I have a beard straightener. Yeah, my son's beard hair looks like ground beef curls. Oh, wow. That's messed up. Hopefully your son don't be on here. Don't be talking about your son like that. That's not nice. He is a product of his environment.
So, by the way, back to somebody had asked about the mics, and not that anyone's buying us mics, but we had lav mics.
Oh, we would love for somebody to buy us mics.
We had lav mics.
We would do anything for that.
They both went bad within a day.
We'd do anything for y'all to buy us some mics. Wink, wink.
Do anything.
Mike has ties, and I got muscles.
By the way, I know that we have a lot of cannabis guests on and stuff. I've never called us a cannabis show. I think we're cannabis friendly.
Cannabis friendly. I'm not gonna lie, I still need some food.
That's why I mean these. By the way, this is the last. You know all those cookies we had? This is the last package of these.
Willie, there's no way I would eat pig feet for Mike. Ew, that's nasty.
He's just trying to see what your number is.
That's nasty. I would never eat pig's feet for Mike, but send the pig's feet. What
if they're expensive mics?
Send the pig's feet and maybe I'll eat it.
What if they're expensive mics? What if they're like... So the mics we got were like $40
Said,
each.
or you, Mike.
What? What you trying to say? What you trying to say, Willie?
Say you eat pig's feet for the mic. What you gonna do for a mic?
All I had to eat was.
What you gonna do for a mic? He want to know what you willing to take off for a mic.
Well, I'm not willing to take anything off.
Oh, well, what you willing to do for a mic?
Off. I'll take my tie off.
What you willing to do for a mic? Willie want to know what you willing to do for a mic.
Well, I don't know. I guess I need suggestions. Because that's the danger when somebody's like, "What would you do?" and then you name it, and they're like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize you do all that."
Somebody's upset with us.
About what?
Says, I'm kind of hurt you haven't asked me on yet.
Who's that?
Latoya. She finna start watching the show now.
What's up, Jen?
She finna be like, yo, I'm done. They scared. What are we scared of, Latoya? We scared of, what you think we scared of? Please, enlighten us so we know what to worry about.
She's like, they're scared of all this thunder in this little package.
Please let us know. You just can't be on here cussing and stuff. Don't be in here cussing. We don't want no hard language. You got to filter.
Look, she brings breakfast. She can come on the show.
Ooh.
Been talking about breakfast for a long time.
I mean, she did get us dinner one time, though.
Oh, that's true.
She did get us dinner.
Why was that? Is that what it takes?
I don't know what it takes to be on a show. I didn't set the rules for what it takes to be on a show. But hey, if you got something you want to make, Eric, you scared of my swag? Stop playing. What?
Who said that?
Why would I be
Latoya with a capital T? You saying?
Latoya, what? What are you talking? I'm scared of your swag. Hey, Jen. Fuck shit to what? Oh, Lordy. Jen, watch your mouth. I'll censor myself. Yeah, nobody scared of you, girl. What you talking about? You think your swag better than mine? You crazy, girl. You know what's up.
She's like, you guys should have me on to dose that show up with some more swag, is what she's saying.
You think you gonna bring the show swag, huh? Because we gonna fact check it. Don't worry.
She better also bring the show some ranch dressing. Cause
yeah, exactly. I know you, look. Y'all need to get y'all ranch game up and start sending some ranch, because ranch go out pretty quick here. Shit like water. Here, water bill is due.
And it better be Hidden Valley.
Yeah, bro, anything other, look. If you give me Kraft Ranch, you might as well end our friendship right there on the spot. As soon as you go to pay. Actually, if you just grab the bottle of ranch, if you even think about getting Kraft Ranch, and like as soon as you think about that, you might as well just end our friendship because you don't know me at all and what I like. And Kraft Ranch is definitely the bottom of the barrel. Like I wouldn't even eat Kraft Ranch. I'd rather just eat the salad and just eat the salad with some vinaigrette or something like that. You know how they always got vinaigrette. Look at every time you go get a salad, they always got vinaigrette. If it's only one dressing there, it's vinaigrette.
Just like almost vinegar. Enjoy your almost vinegar.
They never got nothing that people like.
It's when you mix vinegar with regret.
Exactly.
Vinaigrette. I regret ordering this salad because all you have is vinaigrette.
Ooh, Latoya said 1 meal, that's all it will take. Guaranteed at least 30 extra viewers, just saying. Yeah, that's because you're going to be calling all your cousins and stuff.
She'll finally invite her friends.
Yeah, she gonna be calling all her cousins like, yo, cuz, I need you to get on at least one, yo.
You and your computer, get your 3 devices on.
Yo, you can't be calling the whole family in the comments because you gonna have everybody talking about, oh, this your third cousin, LaToya. I just want to say hi. Nah, don't be cheating. That's cheating. That's cheating. You can't do that. You can't be having a bunch of family logging in soon as it's your day. You supposed to have these family members log in yesterday or 2 weeks ago or a month ago.
They should be watching every day.
Talk about I'm gonna have 30 viewers. Yeah, 30 contacts in your phone. You finna forward the message
watch
to.
Party.
Look, she said, "Damn right." That's cool, yo. She like serious too. She like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure all my family watching, but they not gonna watch right now. Yeah.
Like,
they only watch you.
She's like, I don't want. Like, I'm not gonna have to watch you talking about ranch.
She bribing us. She bribing us with her family.
That's right. If every day somebody wants to come on the show, they want to bring us.
Oh shoot, that's cold. This all good though. Oh shoot, y'all got my stomach hurting today, bro. I can't believe we was really insulted today. That was painful.
Well, it's no one we care about. From that opinion standpoint, right?
No, of course I don't care. Yo, I've been called worse, a lot worse.
Oh, I've been called worse.
I'm telling all my battle buddies, classmates. See, man, that's cheating. You should have been told them. What you? All right, we finna get you on there. And look, if it ain't 30 viewers, guess what? We deleting the show. So you can't share it with nobody. Look, we already be having an average of 15 people watching. So that means if it ain't 45 people watching when it's your turn, look, we not saving the show. We deleting it. We got to delete it at the end because you promised something and you ain't come with it. You ain't come with it. That's the Belichick experience. You can't be promising stuff and don't deliver. It's a lot of players that promise. Look, I got this crazy story. Look at this crazy story. So we brought in this old lineman. I don't remember where he came from, but he was like a real good old lineman. And we brought him in, and it was crazy. We had all the his locker was next to mine. We had all the media there specifically for him. And I'm talking, they like interviewing this dude after thing. It was to the point I couldn't even get dressed in my locker. I had to wait till they was done. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, damn, this dude must be really good if we got all these camera guys like hyped that he here right now, and like, you know, so. He was a left tackle, and you know we needed a left tackle at the time. That's when Nate had his like his injury stuff going on, and so we needed a tackle at the time. And so when we brought him in, he was hyped. Everybody hyped him up. It was crazy, and I'm like, yo, this dude probably good. And it's because I'm a defensive lineman. I know I got to go against him because Belichick don't just put you in the first group. He put you in the second group first, and then you work your way up just like everybody else. So. You know, he was hyped up. I'm a little nervous because I'm like, yo, this dude got all the media around him. This ain't cool. Like, I can't even get dressed in my locker. And he, you know, I'm like, so I'm sitting there listening to music like, I'm finna turn up on this dude. This dude is not finna be having my locker looking foolish because I ain't got no media. He getting all, nah. Let me tell you, my man's was out of practice before practice ended. They took his pass before practice ended. He did so bad. He was getting torched the whole practice, like torched. I'm talking about pass rush after pass rush. It was sack after sack, and we was just having a feast. We was celebrating, jumping.
What's up, Calix Berkshire? Thanks for joining.
It was so bad. I've never seen a man get cut before practice was over. After coming in with the hype he had, that's when I realized like the league ain't what people think it is. Like, it don't matter how hype you are. As soon as if you don't show it on the field, yo, you done. You done, and it'll be before practice even in. Belichick be like, hey, I'm gonna need your pads. Don't worry, we got the car outside waiting for you. Just grab Just grab your clothes and, head to the car. We'll have you at the airport in 30 minutes. You on the exact next flight. I'm talking about literally your flight be right when you get there. That's how quick they want you out. And I'm telling you, we all came in the locker room because, look, I came in the locker room, and usually we always do some stuff after practice on defense. We do a bunch of stuff after practice, so we always come in the locker room late. So I come in the locker room thinking, Buddy was finna be there, and I was finna, be like, yo, how was practice? Because you always ask the new guys, how you did your first day. Because when you come to the Patriots, the first practice ain't like every practice at every other team. Like, the first practice is hell for you. You get put in the hardest situations. Like, and Belichick do it on purpose. He bring you in and he just throw you in. You going hard and you not finna miss a play. You first up, like he make you uncomfortable. And so you got to be able to, adjust to that. And look, I got back to the locker room when my man was in there and he was like, he wasn't even in there. And I'm asking other players, we asking each other like, yo, where Buddy at? And he like, everybody like, yo, Belichick already got rid of him. His locker was clean, smooth, clean. Everything. Everything. Yeah, that's the end of the story.
So we're really lucky today because we have Larry Smith from G5 Cultivation, which is out in Vegas. And
nice.
I think a lot of times when people interview people, they're like, the first question they're like, hey Larry, tell us all about you, which is like the lamest thing ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Larry on, and then I kind of have his summary, and I'm going to read it off.
Well, good luck.
But that's the thing is it's better for me to read it, and then he can sort of like.
My man got a long resume.
Well, that's because he's doing lots of cool stuff. That's what happens when you're. That's what happens.
Right.
My man got that resume.
How y'all doing, man?
We're doing good, Larry.
What's up, Larry?
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
I love the. Hey, look, I love the Belichick way though, man. Belichick clean out the locker fast, huh?
Oh yeah, he don't play, bro. In and out. Just like the restaurant.
It's funny because I use that like at the grow. Like I talk about like the I always try to get the people that work with us to understand that they just do their job. Like that's what the Patriots way is just like just do your job, right? Yeah. Don't worry about nobody else. Just do your job and we'll be fine.
Yeah, what you good at, focus on that because that's what we need.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So Larry, I'm going to read this off real quick. So a visionary, dreamer, and doer, Larry Smith is breaking down barriers for the status quo. With more than 20 years in business enterprise, Larry is committed to empowering young men and women within his community to tap into entrepreneurship and build their own wealth, which is cool. We need more of that out here in Massachusetts. Larry's strong business sense and leadership qualities have led him to become a successful capital investor and entrepreneur. He's currently the founder and chief executive officer of G5 Cultivation, which I got there down in the titles, a minority-owned and operated lifestyle brand that specializes in providing premium grade of cannabis grown in an ethical manner to the market. With the steady emergence of the cannabis industry, Larry is also heavily involved in the legislation process and the legalization and development of marijuana laws in Nevada, which is cool. We try to do that out here in Massachusetts too. As a savvy business leader, Larry is the managing member of G5 Medical Consultants, G5 Media, and Square Management. Larry is also the company that invests in startup companies and business expansions. Born and raised in Las Vegas, Larry attended, I'm going to mess this one up, Wapai Community College?
Yavapai.
Okay, I was close.
Right.
Under a basketball scholarship. So he played basketball, graduating with a degree in marketing, and he returned back to Vegas and began working in various business roles such as marketing, sales, biz dev, and operations. And he has a dedicated passion and a focus and determination on setting up today's youth for success. He strongly believes in family and serving others, and that's what's driven him continuously to strive to make a positive difference in the community. And he's got the support of his family and business associates, and that helps him to be actively involved in several programs throughout the Las Vegas area. Some of his charitable efforts including annual contributions to Andre Agassi's Gents and Basketball program, the Latino Chamber of Commerce's Back to School program, as well as charitable support and Community Basketball League, holiday gift-giving programs at the Doolittle Community Center. Shout out to the Doolittle Community Center. Larry is leading efforts to reduce juvenile crime by creating and supporting constructive activities and employment opportunities for the youth. Larry, that's amazing. And thanks for sitting there while I read all that off. But we're really appreciative and proud to have you on the show today. Thanks.
Thank you, man. I'm super proud to. I really appreciate you guys considering me. I know there's a lot of options out there, and I really do appreciate it, man. It's good to talk to good people, man.
Definitely.
Well, for us, I think it's important that we try to showcase and prop up the people that are doing good stuff out there, and at least from what we're reading about you, like we need more good people out there doing stuff like you're doing. So Larry, do you want to, I know I read off all of that. Are there certain parts of like what you've been up to these days that are like kind of your passion and what you're spending a lot of your time on?
Well, with the COVID-19 coming, I kind of shifted my focus a little bit on going back to my community. And so before buying up the block became popular, which is starting to be like a new thing now, I had already started buying up my old neighborhood. And so one of the things that I feel like I got I got caught with my pants down was when the COVID started. I had already started the process of getting ready to do farming in our backyards in those communities. And so, when this hit, I felt like, damn, like I missed an opportunity to already have that in place to get everything started. And so to me, the farming, by doing the cannabis, has taught me how to go back to the basic roots of farming, right? And so I figured it would be a great way to bridge the gap in my community, in my neighborhoods, by taking the youth who are in my neighborhood board, who don't have anything to do, and give them something to do. And we have elderly folk in our neighborhood. So if you combine the two and let these elderly folk give them some wisdom and knowledge. Because when I grew up in my neighborhood, we had kind of, it was fading away, but I could go next door and get some eggs. And this is in the city of Las Vegas, so this is crazy. But like, I could go next door and get like some eggs, and then go down the street and get some greens from such and such's family, and we would trade off. And I just felt like we need to bring that back. So that's kind of been my new focus, is to help. Right now it's a little hot, so we planted everything. We're getting ready to start off. So when the fall comes back, we'll be prepared and ready to go a little bit. But I felt like it was it's a good way to get my community to get back involved, and it would have been nice to not have to go and buy food for the people from my neighborhood, but actually be able to go in the backyards and grab some greens and some eggs and some onions, and we can make our omelets, and work as a community,
Well, yeah, it's, I think, not only sort of like showing people that they can like grow their own vegetables, right? It's also like when, a lot of people are buying food out there that's not necessarily healthy for them. They don't necessarily know where it's coming from. And like, it's always good when you can sort of grow that food locally, and then people can support that, right? Because then you can trust the source you're supporting, instead of paying money to people who live someplace else. Like, you're keeping that money local, you're helping to support the economy, and you're getting vegetables that are way better than anything you're going to get at the market usually, right?
And the biggest thing for me is that when we're out there with those youngsters, we're planning, it's the conversation that's going on. It's the taking the time for the youth. We're planting a seed in that child, that young man or that young woman, quiet as it's kept. I mean, that's, to me, that's the disconnect between the two. A lot of times that our older generation look at us youngsters. I still feel like I'm 47, but I still feel like in my mind, I feel like I'm 35, right? And I feel like the younger kids look at us and go, well, you guys don't pass the game down. And I think, by planting the gardens is another way for us to be able to communicate with the youth and speak to them and understand them. And then they can understand our point of view. And then they, once they see that, hey, you plant the seed, you water it, you take care of it, you come back, you have something to eat. I think, but in between those conversations are very important. And I think that's where how we pinpoint our communities and get them better and to be more engaged,
Yeah, that's amazing. So have you, like, because I'm assuming that you're also dealing with youth that are like they're minors, right? So like they're not. It's not so much about cannabis with them. It's really about growing vegetables and like kind of like low scale farming almost, right? Is that
right? Well, yeah, it is. But for me, I'm just trying to teach another trade. When it comes to cannabis, like sometimes in the African American community, like when I go and speak to these schools, I'm very blunt and very straightforward to kids, and I feel like they respect the fact that I'm coming to them on a real level. I'm not sugarcoating anything, and you'd be surprised how many times I've gone in their classrooms and simply asked, "How many of you have smoked marijuana?" And you got 8th and 9th graders that are raising their hands. So it's like, all right, well, hold on, let's shift this a little bit, and let's start looking at the parents saying, listen, they're doing it already, but let me change this narrative here. Let's start farming, and then teaching them that if you can grow a tomato, if you can grow an onion, then when you get old enough and we get you into college and you start doing biology and agriculture and horticulture, then what we can do is we can change that and say, look, if you can grow good cannabis when the time is right, then you have a job for life now. I mean, this is a new skill set that's coming in. And if you're a good grower, then you can make good money. It's another trade. And I just think prepping our kids and letting them understand biology, technology, plumbing, all of those things come into a factor later on. So we're just trying to get them ready for the skill sets that they're going to need in life.
Yeah, well, and that's amazing too, because a lot of the efforts here in Massachusetts that are trying to like help empower, let's say, people of color, or just the people that like really were supposed to have inroads into the cannabis industry. A lot of those efforts, I'm thinking now, are focused on like the adult side of that, right? Like we're not really trying to hit up really younger people that like we're hitting up people that. When we, like, a lot of times when we think about like people that deserve inroads into the industry, it's like, oh, people that went to jail for weed, or or people of color that had to grow up in environments and neighborhoods that like were due to the war on drugs, and like that's what this cannabis industry that we're all in now is supposed to be about, right? Like this, everyone having an opportunity in the cannabis industry was because of the war on drugs, right? And so it's just really interesting because I feel like a lot of the efforts that we're doing to try to like help empower those people, it's not always easy because you're dealing with people who are like in their 40s, 50s, and even older, and like now you're trying to say like, oh, hey, if we train you, you can have an opportunity in the cannabis industry. And for a lot of those people, they're like, yeah, they're already living their life, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the young people, those are the people that like have the opportunity to get into it and then maybe turn that into something that becomes generational wealth for not just for them, but for their children and their children's children. And I think like in the long run, that's what the cannabis industry can start to offer to people. And we need to try to give the right people the opportunity to like take advantage of that,
Well, yeah. And that's the thing for me is that, it's it's understanding that where the future is going to take us. And to me, like, I want to get our, I do a lot of, we have an organization out here called Gentlemen by Choice. And a lot of these young men, they go from the third to seniors in high school, and a lot of them just have extra energy, man. And when you put it on the chalkboard, they don't always get it. But when you take them out into the real world situations, they tend to respond a lot better. It's crazy. Like I was watching one day, we went and they were doing math on the chalkboard. Everyone's kind of like da 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 da. So we took them outside and we started to do the chalk. We took the chalk that you can do on the like sidewalk almost, and it became a whole party at that point because they were antsy and moving around. And so it reiterates to me that our kids need to be more African American kids. For me, in my opinion, they're more hands-on. They're antsy. It's not ADD or they want to act. They're active, man. They're ready to go. So when we provide a different avenue of dumping soil and planting it and then going, and then we get into the structure of how that tomato is growing, and then now we're talking science, and now they understand the science. Oh, science, okay, it's biology, it's this. It just gives them a different it gives them a different pattern to look after and go forward. And then for me, I'm just trying to think ahead. I know that there are people that have been incarcerated, and we're trying our best to make sure. The governor of Vegas and Nevada just announced that they were going to start expunging all the felonies for. So we're working past that. Now let's start looking towards the future and go. In the cannabis industry, unfortunately, when I walk into a room, the people don't always look like me as far as my skin color, and that's unfortunate. And that's just us changing these laws and making sure that when I don't know where you guys are in the process now, but making sure that when that process starts, that it's not so outrageous that people of color can't get in, because that's where the problem starts automatically. When you look at certain places and it's like, oh, in order to get in cannabis, you have to have $500,000 liquid. And, well, that eliminates a lot of the African Americans and brown people automatically. And it's sad because, and if you do have it, then there's other processes that I feel like they start to do in the industry. But, it's sad because I think if more Black and brown people started to pool their resources together and we start trusting each other, and then I think we can make some noise. It's just a matter of us trusting each other. But that's a really deep conversation as far as the trusting goes.
Here in Massachusetts, we have priority statuses called economic empowerment, and then a second one called social equity. And so individuals that reside within the state, as long as they are eligible, can apply for one of those two statuses. Economic empowerment was actually meant to give back to the impoverished communities within the state. So any business that signs up as economic empowerment has extra requirements to give a little extra back to those communities that were most affected by the war on drugs. And it's really, it's usually the poorer communities, and maybe a little bit more of urban-ish, right, communities. And then social equity was meant for individuals. So like as opposed to a social equity business having to give extra back to the community, a social equity applicant was somebody who they themselves were affected potentially by the war on drugs, or at least satisfied the things that you needed to check off to be one of those candidates, right? And what that gave you was priority status with the state. So when you finally had all your stuff together, instead of maybe waiting 6 months or a year for the state to finally go through all of your stuff and approve you, you would kind of get near the front of the line for that. The problem, though, is in Massachusetts, even though that process takes a long time for a lot of folks, and people die on the vine while they're paying rent or a lease, right, while that's all going on, the problem is that the sort of process to actually get through your application, the legal fees are enormous. You have to go through a municipal approval process, and that a lot of times, now think about this, as anyone really, but especially as a person of color, you're going in to talk to like a mayor and a selectman within a town to basically be like, hey, could you please choose me? Could you please approve me to be in your town? And if they don't like you, right? And look, Larry, to give you a perfect example, this guy was trying to go and find a new place to live. And we had more than one place that we would call and we'd be like, yeah, we'll be there in 5 minutes. They're like, yeah, we're waiting for you. And they don't know who he is, but when they see a big Black guy walk up to the door, there were people that wouldn't even answer the door. And that there is like a microcosm story of what it is like for people of color in the cannabis industry in general, whether they're trying to get funding, whether they're trying to go to towns to get approval, like they're literally walking into like a white environment generally, trying to be like, hey, could you please feel some empathy for me and allow me to be one of your few businesses that you're actually going to allow in your town? Because they're not just letting everyone come in.
No.
The towns have limits. You know what I'm saying?
It's still a good old boys network. I don't care what they say, and I probably get a little bit of slack for that. But listen, show me something different. I mean, there's so many roadblocks. I mean, like you just said, they put you on the vine. Well, listen, you're paying rent, you're paying power, you're paying all of these things, and there's no federally fund, there's no banking. So, if you don't have the funds, you're in trouble. I mean, and this is where I think that we need to come together, just as people in general, but especially people of color, is that we need to pool our resources together. So when you look up and you walk in there and there's a group of 10 and there's $10 million in that fund, then, you know, the one language I do understand is they like the money language. So when you tell them, hey, we have a group of 10, we have 10 million in funds, then they people tend to perk up a little bit. But, you know, as a culture, sometimes we don't trust one another. And that's to me is that the systematic thing that's been put in place. And that's why you see a lot of black on black crime. These are just my opinions, but it starts from there. And, I'm hoping that the new change that's going on in the country is that, you know, for us, when we take in money, I'm very transparent, and my investors, I actually have an investor from Massachusetts. He's a legend in Massachusetts, actually. He's Jay Cutler, the 4-time Mr. Olympia bodybuilder. So that's one of I've been doing business with Jay for about 10 years now. And, but it's one of those things that we have a responsibility once we take that money and to do the right things with the money, to be very transparent, to let people know we're not taking your money. We're not on yachts and boats and partying. We're not living that lifestyle. We're really trying to do right and do good, clean, honorable business. And that's what we have to continue to do. And that's what G5 really tries to do, is show our community, number one, hey, we're doing everything the right way. I'm not taking pounds out the back door. I mean, other people can do it. We're not going to do it. Like, I don't want to be on the news. As a brother, I don't want that barbershop conversation to be, man, like, hey, these guys had a license and they blew it. Like, that's not going to be the conversation for us. We want to show the people that we can be a very viable, great company that provides a great service for people who are in need of good cannabis throughout this time. And that's what we plan to do.
Well, and Larry, I think also what's so important too about what you're doing is that no matter what any particular state sets up to try to help the people that need the most help to get into the cannabis industry, that's always riddled with loopholes. So there's always going to be people that are going to like take advantage. Like in Massachusetts, for instance, they've been trying to figure out what they're going to do with all the taxes they've been collecting from these cannabis companies. And one proposal is, hey, why don't you set up a fund for 0% interest loans to like the economic empowerment and the social equity people so they can actually start their businesses. Larry, I think we have less than a couple of economic empowerment businesses that are actually functioning in this state out of like hundreds and hundreds of cannabis companies. There's like a couple that are economic empowerment, and I think there's one that's black owned, right?
Wow.
And that's a shame. And so, you know, yes, there's folks that are trying to fight for like this fund, right? But that at the same time, it's not going to be like, hey, this is truly only going to go towards the people that like were really struggling, right? To like be able to start, that are eligible, that have applied for the status and have it, but like they have no money. So, you know, they have no money for a lawyer. They have no money for somebody to help them with a business plan. They have no money to like, they have no guidance. How are they supposed to start going around and talk to municipalities to see if there's a town or city that's like open to their operation coming in, right? Yeah. It's such an arduous process that the answer, when somebody like me brings this up, the pushback I get is, well, you know, there's also opportunities for them to have entry-level jobs. And I'm like, that's not, like, I get, that should be there too for the people that's all they want. But like reparations is not an entry-level job. Like reparations is equity, right? Reparations is like tangible something. And whether that's land ownership, which in the long run, reparations should equal land ownership. But even if it is equity in a cannabis company that you hope remains solvent out of the 90% of cannabis businesses that fail in this country, right?
Right.
But just to even have that opportunity, like we're not giving people that opportunity. And so that's why I'm saying what you're doing is actually so important to not just have like strong, morally compassed black men that are trying to help out people of color in the community, in the cannabis community. That's so necessary because like we can't rely on the states to do what's right. And even when they finally get around to doing what's right, other people are taking advantage of those situations. You know?
Well, I'll tell you something interesting is that I got into cannabis for three main reasons. I had an attorney friend of mine, Steve Weiss, may he rest in peace. He died of an opioid addiction. Very smart, one of the smartest guys I've ever known. I was under his tutelage for like 15 years. I got to be a fly on the wall. I was a young African American in the attorney's office, and I had been doing business with him. My factoring company, medical consultants, and so became really good friends. He passed of an overdose. That was one reason I got in. Two, my grandmother passed away from cancer, and I saw the suffering, and she wouldn't smoke cannabis, right? And I thought it would. I thought it wouldn't maybe not cure her, but it would give her a better quality of life in that time. And the third reason was I figured I could take the money that I made from cannabis and start redirecting it back into my community. So for me, I'm not looking for the state to give me any money. I was thinking in my mind, I'm going to take the money that I have. And if you guys are starting up a business, I want to be able to not only give you a financial boost, because, in business, the banks, it all starts with me with the banks as well. The banks don't give us any money, right? So we have plenty of young entrepreneurs in the hood who have a really good idea. And for me, my thought still is to be able to sit down, and we've already done it. We've already started. We have two people that we funded already. But we had to sit them down and show them, hey, I'm not just giving you 25 grand. Let me show you how the books are ran. Let me show you what your P&Ls need to look like. And some of them had no idea what a P&L actually looked like. So we provide all of those services for them. We have people in place to show them, hey, this is what's going to happen. When you go and purchase food for your food truck, this is a receipt. You need to bring all of this. You can't go add some tennis shoes on there. We're trying to show them a real business acumen of it. So it's not that. And then we're giving them a $25,000 loan, right? That we do we do it actually smaller than the bank. And we want them to, we teach them how to spend the $25,000, right? And in that way, they're not wasting the money, and we bring in people in those fields. And so that's one of the things that kind of got me into that. So it's pretty dope that they want to take some of that money from the funds and implement it back to the communities. And that's what it probably should be. I mean, we definitely don't have banking, and that really hurts us in this industry as well. So that's one of the things that G5 has been committed to doing in our community.
So how do you select people that you're going to help? Like, is there sort of like an application process, or are you just out there sort of looking for viable candidates, and then you talk with them and you see if you can like mold them into the right situation? How do you normally?
So right now it's just me being born and raised here, and like I'm very aware of like people that are trying. There's a certain level of effort that I can see that people are really trying to do, and you can see a buzz, or you can see, whoa, this guy has good food, and then when you get down and you go grab a plate of his food, then you realize he has a place that only can hold 7 people. You get to talk to them a little bit more, and you realize, well, what do you need to like really, so for me it's just not leaving. I don't want to say leaving the hood, but being a part of my neighborhoods and understanding that who's who in the neighborhoods. And a lot of these people they don't want a handout. They just want a hand up, and I think that when they see what we're doing and they understand that we're not trying to leave anybody and we're trying to do the right things. We go into it letting them know that most businesses do fail. It's not easy to get into business and really go. I mean, it takes a lot of dedication and hard work. And so there's certain people that I've seen in my community, and eventually when G5 starts to make more money and we're able to do those, we'll start doing different processes as far as that. But we try to do two small businesses a year right now. And that equals to about $50,000 a year is what we do. Sometimes we don't tell anybody that we're behind it. That we've done 3 so far, and 2 of them, no one knows we were behind it. And I kind of like it that way, because that way I don't get kind of bombarded with it. A lot of things we like to keep quietly, but it's one of those things that these other 2 businesses are doing really, really well. And the other third one we have is we got the guy a food truck, and he's starting to he's just now getting the process going, all the licenses, the health codes, and we're moving and showing him how to do it the proper way.
That's amazing. So I know that you guys are doing cultivation out there. Are you just doing cultivation, or are you doing any manufacturing or retail?
Well, no, and see, that was the thing is if I was, in Vegas when it started, man, it moved fast. It was like you better have this, and a lot of people wouldn't do it. You had to have in Vegas the minimum was 250,000 liquid, and then and I had enough that I if I would have known better, I would have went ahead and put in the license for retail, and then that way I would at least have the application in, and I believe I would have got it. I think most people got the retails in the very beginning. And so that was just a lesson for me. So in the future, when we go and put the licenses in, I will always try to put all three in just to make sure, because to be vertically integrated is very important. And once again, to me, I looked at it like, well, if my product's not good enough, I probably shouldn't be on shelves anyway. But still, if they want to get me out of the industry, all they got to do is not buy my product, right? And so if I have my own distribution, then I'm not worried about that. It's on me to market and do what I have to do.
Well, but I was going to say, even including the manufacturing within that vertical integration, like when you look at the accelerators from cultivation to manufacturing, and then you see the margin from it, from that out to retail, but that when you actually crunch the numbers, like manufacturing has the biggest accelerator within that vertical integration, right?
Absolutely.
And so at different points, if one portion starts to get commoditized, right? Like if all of a sudden the price per pound goes down drastically, at least you still having control of the manufacturing and the retail, you can still enjoy whatever profit margins are there, even if cultivation's taken a hit or if retail's taken a hit. For some reason, like it's you don't have all your eggs in the one basket, and like you said, at least even if you're wholesaling out to other people, you're still able at that point to sell your own product, so you're not totally reliant on what could be a semi-collusive market at some point if like a handful of people are like F Larry, and we're not going to give him the prices he wants, right?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is that what we've learned is developing the right relationships since we don't have those licenses, and going over to production, making sure that we can get those things done. And then for us, just the marketing and making sure that we have a really quality bud, that eliminates a lot of stuff, because when you have good quality, guess what? They want to buy it at that point. The consumer's walking in, buying it. For us, the marketing has been really critical. We have Cameron from Harlem, Dipset, Rockefeller. We came out with Pink Mink, and that's taken all the way off. And then we have Big Baby Bud, which is Darren Bragg. He's a comedian out of North Carolina. He was on the show Wildin' Out, some other things, MTV stuff. And like these guys, Big Baby, he's a smoker. He smokes all day. So it's a natural fit for us. And the marketing behind it, and all of the he actually had a player, he's good friends with Charles Johnson. I think he came out to the grow. He played for the Panthers.
Okay.
So super duper good guy. And
you said Big Baby Davis?
His name is Big Baby. Not Big Baby the basketball player.
Okay. I was about to say he got arrested with a bunch of
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And then, it's just one of those things. The marketing is really critical for us, but more importantly, we're in the desert. We have to, I've built Sean and myself built a 10,000 square foot facility, and we have to really model it after California. So what I was referring to earlier about the young kids is that like the science aspect of this whole thing. I've brought meteorologists into my building to figure out. I want to create the climate that California has. I mean, that's a really optimal place that people love the cannabis. So that's what we've done. So we've created a thing, a model of a California-based in Nevada building, and it's science. And so far so good. We've had good quality strains, and it's moving. So it makes it harder for them not to deal with me, but it's always in the back of my head that, hey, if they don't like it or they don't want us there, they don't have to buy it, But and that's the part of the future of in the future, we want to be able to have enough capital to go in other places and get all three of those licenses. And more importantly, own the land. That's another big portion of everything that we have is owning the land.
Yeah, here in Massachusetts, on the recreational license side, you can go for vertical integration traditionally. On the medical side, though, it was always forced. Like if you wanted to open up a medicinal, operation, it had to be vertically integrated. They're finally opening that back up, though, because when you're going for a vertically integrated operation, that's when you need 10 to 15 million, at least in this state, to start to play ball, right? And so that made it completely almost impossible for any normal person, never mind a person of color and some of the people that needed the most help with it. They're finally about to open that up, I think, in Massachusetts, or they're talking about doing that, where on the medicinal side they'll take away the requirement for vertical integration, so this way folks that have that EE status or social equity status could decide to go for medicinal. Everyone, though, generally has been going for recreation because I think they just feel like the profit margin might be larger. But at the same time, they're not. Well, and it's really just because the lines on recreation are out the door, while medicinal in Massachusetts, you got to have the card. And there's a lot of people that don't want to go for that card. They'd almost rather pay more money and extra taxes to go for rec weed.
To me, that's the real scam in all of this whole thing, right? That's the real scam. Let's call a spade to me. And I've said this to the Clark County, the state of Nevada. That's where the real fraud goes on, because there's nothing not medicinal about this plant the entire time, right? There's no such thing as recreational to me. People may tell you that they smoke it recreational, but that doesn't mean that they don't have an issue that they're not telling you about. And in Nevada, what they did was, it's a travesty to me. It's they basically said, we're in the Wild Wild West out here. So these guys like to wear they like to have their pistols on their side. They like to have their guns on their side, right? Their concealed weapons permits. And what they did was they tagged that in the language and said that if you want to get your medical card, you can't have a concealed weapons permit, which is trash, right? So if you take that off, then what happens is more people get their medical cards. So the travesty for me is that an Oxycontin can be taxed at 2%, but the cannabis can't be taxed at 2%. It all should be taxed at 2%. And the state shouldn't be greedy. The county shouldn't be greedy. They should come in, should all be taxed at 2%, and people should be able to go get their medical card, and you shouldn't be judged. You shouldn't have to have your employer do certain things. It's sad to me to sit back and see how they manipulate the game. And those taxes, I mean, they're making at 2%, you still make a lot of taxes, right? And it makes it to where, to me, this is the back end of getting the little guys like us out of the game, because if you're taxing us at a high percentage, I think we're at 15% on certain things. If you're taxing me at 15%, I mean, I'm already getting taxed on the other level and other stuff. So by the time you look up, I'm at like almost 30% taxes. And to me, I think that they're going to eventually, once the game is all written in and all the plays are done, they'll lower those taxes down at some point. To me, when the big boys get in there, then they'll fight to lower them down. But to me, it's just it's another process of elimination. It's the final round of process of elimination. If you can hang on to those taxes, because now in Vegas, what they're doing is they came up with a committee that says if you're late on your taxes, you're going to get another fine, right? So they're just making it to where they want you're late, you're out of here, right? Eventually, it's a cold game. But this is, to me, the plant is always medicinal. It doesn't change because they put a tag on it. I'm growing a medicinal plant. Like I said, it's not a plant that I'm saying I'm going to cure anybody. But listen, if you have a level of discomfort, if you have IBS, and we can take that IBS from a level 10 to a level 3, and we give you a better quality of life, that's what it is for us, right? And so, like, people won't tell you, hey, I'm stressed out, or I can't speak, or I'm a crane operator and I'm nervous. I have to smoke before I get up in the crane and calm my nerves and get up there and do. I mean, they won't tell you that, but it's never recreational for me. I think that's just a horrible form. It's a way for them to collect the money.
Larry, I think the people that are like regular smokers that suddenly like go on vacation or they go visit their relative and they don't have access to weed for that week, that's when they realize, like, wait, why am I like so angry every day? Or like, why am I feeling depressed? Or why am I not in my, like, I'm not feeling normal. And like some of them, they finally make that connection. Like, oh shoot, like the weed that I smoke, like must be helping me with that. Right.
Right.
And so I think
I won't, I've never taken a sleeping pill. I don't take pills or anything, but the cannabis puts me to sleep. It's just that simple. I mean, the indicas put me right to sleep, especially, when you're moving and you're busy and you're constantly thinking about things, I need to slow my brain down. So when I smoke, I relax and I'm good. And that's what it does to me. It relaxes me. It makes me think. I can build a spaceship if I'm on an indica. I mean, a sativa, right? So it's like I understand, what it does for me. And I think a lot of more people are. And it's just, to me, it's sad that they're taking advantage of it. But I mean, we wanted it legal. I think that we need to fight a little bit more on these taxes and let people know that, because they're not, I don't know what they're doing with the money. In Vegas, it was supposed to go to schools, and a lot of people are pissed off because they're realizing that the funding is still not there for our school district here in Nevada. So they're starting to say, hey, what's going on? You said it was going for schools, and now it's not going. And they put in a rainy day fund. So I don't know what that really means, but it doesn't sound right to me, right? It just doesn't sound right.
And even all the taxes they've been in Massachusetts that they've been collecting on recreational cannabis, that's all still sitting someplace, and like people are like, so hey, what's going to happen with that money? Like, what are we doing with it? And some people are saying, because that's the thing is, if it goes unchecked, suddenly it's like, oh well, they used all that money for this, which some people might be like, why are you using that money for that? So people are trying to talk now about saying like, yeah, that all that money should be made available as 0 interest loans for certain people that are actually qualified. But I'll tell you that, the issues we've been running into here is the little people, and whether this is people of color or even non-people of color, the little people that are trying to get into the industry, what's happening is for these priority applicants, there's a limit by the state of Massachusetts where you can only give up 49% of your equity. So if Eric had an economic empowerment, he was an economic empowerment applicant, he's looking for funding, and he's like, hey, somebody, I need $8 million to start my, cultivation and manufacturing operation, right? And they're like, all right, cool. So there's a limit. Like, he is not allowed to, he has to retain 51% ownership of that business. But what the management companies have been doing to get around that is that then they put on like shelving fees and like other fees on stuff. So they'll be like, yeah, Eric, we'll just take the 49%. That's cool. But every single time you sell something, we don't care what it is, we want $2. We don't care if it's a $2 item or if it's a $50 item. Per item that you sell, we want a fee from that, right? And so that's how some of these sort of like and what that does is, once you get some of these priority applicants that are like, well, hell, I just want to start my business. Like, if I need to really own only like 10% of my business, even though it looks like I own 51. If I only can own 10, but then I can have my business, then I'm going to do that, right? But what that does is that every other priority applicant, it like immediately makes it so that if he's like, no, I want 51%, I don't want to pay those management fees. A lot of most investors are going to be like, yeah, then we'll just go find somebody else to like do business with, because you aren't letting us make enough money off of this relationship,
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of tricks that are going on. It's pretty sad, But listen, I'll be honest with you. In our culture, for me, sticking together, man, coming together and pulling our resources together. It's an economical, when we put that money together, and I don't, listen, I don't care at this point. I don't care what color you are. I prefer that, we have brothers get into it, but at the end of the day, to me, the new war is going to be classism. I know some white people who are poor now, and it's like, well, it's starting to let me understand that it's not about, I mean, I know it's about race, the conversation's about race, but it's, for me, always trying to look forward. I'm seeing a lot of my Caucasian friends who are hey, how do I apply for welfare? How do I get food stamps? And you're like, wait, hold on a second. So now it's letting me understand that these people don't care anymore. If Black Lives Matter and people are joining together, they're going to lump those people in, and now it's going to be about classism, in my opinion. It's going to be the rich and the poor.
Well, and it was always easy. It was always easy for like an oppressing power to be like, yeah, if we're gonna fuck with people, like it's easy for us to just reference it as like black people. Like, all right, so let's do stuff that. But you're right. In the long run, it's really about them retaining that wealth, not and as soon as they feel like they're giving up some, they feel like that's a slippery slope into suddenly they're not going to be having that same amount of wealth and power that they and their generations before them have been enjoying because they continue that system of like doing anything they can to retain it. And you're right, in the long run, they probably don't. A really, really rich person doesn't care if I'm white or if he's black, as long as like they're getting what they need and want, right?
But I think we can change that narrative, and that's what not like I said, not being the ego, put our egos aside. Listen, if we need to raise $1 million and you guys put in 500,000, I put in 100,000, and someone else puts in 100,000, whatever the numbers are. At the end of the day, it's just a mathematical equation. Hey, you guys put in 500,000, you guys got 51%. The other guys, we got 30, I got 22%. The other guys 17%. At the end of the day, we're in the ball game, right? We have the funds and we can move forward and try to do it in a matter of we're not worried about who's the head guy in charge, who's getting the publicity, who's doing this, who's doing that, and that's where they always kind of get us a little bit, in the hood. We're so afraid to invest in each other, or we're so afraid that, oh, he's getting more shine than me, or he's doing this. And, we have to learn to do business and not worry about that. I watched these guys do, for the last, 20 years, I watched them do, and they didn't care who got the credit. At the end of the day, they wanted to make sure the transactions went through and they handled business. And I think that in my community, it's my responsibility that when a gentleman gives me that money, it's my opportunity, it's my obligation to do right by him, to be honorable, to be ethical, to handle my business and make sure that if we lose, we lose. But I'm going to show you how we lost, and if we win, then we win together. And we have to put that aside and cut the BS and not worry about who's getting credit. But we need to get the transactions going, right? And then that's where the real credit comes. And then we need to take that and start buying back our neighborhoods and building real estate wealth and go. And then, like in the cannabis space, like I have a lot of people say, they may be felons, they can't get in or certain things, but it doesn't stop them from being able to go purchase a building that we can use as the building for the dispensary, right? And then that way there's that start to generational wealth of being able to pass down your kids someone is paying you a mortgage or rent every month. And I think the narrative is changing for us. And I think what we're doing with myself and Cam and my family, my son, what we're trying to do is show people that, listen, we can do this together. There doesn't have to be an argument. There doesn't have to be a fight. There's going to be things that we're going to have to argue and fight about, but we keep that internal and we handle our business and we move on to the next day and we make the transactions. It's just that simple.
Well, Larry, we appreciate that you were willing to spend some time with us and share with us what you've been up to. Is there, it sounds to me like, and because I'm trying to listen. You're doing some amazing stuff for your community. Is there help that you could use from other people? Like, is there a way that people can support you, or are you just sort of happy to be doing your thing? And if people want to keep track of it and you lead by example, that's good.
Well, here's the thing. At first I was really content about, making sure that Las Vegas was taken care of and making sure my community is up and going. But I'm starting to understand that there is a need for people like me to help brothers that are trying to get in the market other places. So we started a consulting company, Cam and myself from Maribel East West, and we want to be able to help those. We just did 2 licenses, one in St. Louis, right on the border of Chicago, Illinois and St. Louis, and we actually did one in Illinois. And I could have charged enormous fees because we understand how this really works, but I feel like we're very fair and honorable, and we want to help those people of color or just people in general to get licensed. And I don't want to keep using the people of color, but I almost have to say it because our people are such a disadvantage. And so we understand that there's a bigger plight now. There's a bigger focus for us to go out and help other people get in these predicaments, to put them in positions to get a license if they have the funding, to structure it for them. And then when they do get the licenses, it's very, very important for us to show them the pitfalls that we went through so they don't fall into those pitfalls. It's the generationals we're passing down the game so it doesn't happen to them. Right, we're letting them know what they need to really do to get in the game. So yeah, no, my mindset has changed, totally different. I'm hooked up with Paul Pierce, former Boston Celtic, NBA player. I think he announced that he has a grow in California. I'm real close with those guys, and it's very important for us to really start moving and helping those people get to a level to where we can help each other and go. And that's been a goal for me. So it's not just about Vegas. We want to be able to go help other people. The biggest thing for us is always there's no banking. So there's really the funding is limited for us. And that's what, normally the case. But what we're trying to do is show people and lead them by example and show them, hey, we built this 10,000 square foot building on our own without any banking. We took our money. So let me show you what we did. And this is the plan to keep moving forward and to build other places and to buy the land. And hopefully when banking does come, we'll be able to get those loans that we need to move forward. Until now, it's just word of mouth and putting it in and trying to expand G5 and getting it into other places and go.
Well, that's awesome, and it's really admirable, and we were really lucky to be able to have you on the show to share your story. I know it's I'm sure it's inspiring to a number of folks, and is hopefully gonna we appreciate that you're leading by example, right? Like you're not just sort of waiting around to see what other everyone's coming up with. You're actually coming up with solutions on your own, and that's amazing. And you're definitely
It's tough. I wish I had. I wish there were more. I don't even want to say the entertainers because you don't have to be an entertainer or an NFL player or an NBA player or a hockey player to really get involved. I mean, to make change, regular guys. Man, I have a brother that's a school teacher who gave us $100,000 to be a part. And I'm proud of that because he's a young African American. He saves his money. He's very diligent with his money, and to have him a part of it, I can see the pride that when he says he's a part of G5. I mean, it's a win all the way around the board. But and then for him to trust us and letting people know that, hey, he gave us the money and he's happy. He's getting his return. He's good. It's like it worked out for the best. And I think that's what G5 is trying to be the model of, is to say, listen, we're not a scam. We're not a phony baloney. We're trying to do good, clean, honorable business. And I think once we do that, we start spreading that. And I think other people will catch on and we'll be able to work together in the future a lot better.
Awesome. Nice. Well, Larry, we really appreciate you spending time with us today. And we hope that there's a time in the near future that you can come back and hang out with us and talk some more.
Absolutely. Definitely. Anytime, man. And when you guys come out to Vegas, when the time is right, come on out, man. We're going to have a good time, man. We're going to make up some time.
Don't tell me on Stone. Don't give me.
Hey, no, I'm dead. I'm dead serious, man. You come out, man.
Hey, last time I went to Vegas, it didn't go so
it didn't go so well, huh?
Hey, I'm a fun person, man. A fun person.
Listen, that's what Vegas is about, man. Coming in, blowing off some steam, having a good time.
Man.
But we'll make sure you're good. We'll make sure you're good. Hopefully, I hope everybody's staying safe. I hope we get back to a normal routine, a normal life, and get. But man, listen, I mean that. You guys ever come to Vegas, please hit us up, man. And in that way we're good to go, man. We'll have a good time, I promise you.
Definitely.
Man. Larry, likewise, if you come out to the East Coast, make sure you hit us up and we'll take care of you. Man.
Absolutely. 100%. But Paul always tells me, because I always tell Paul, I go, Paul, you got to run Boston, man. Come on, man. You got to run. you got to run Boston. He's like, Larry, anytime you want to come to Boston, let me know, man. You know.
I don't know Paul Pierce be up here like that for real.
Well, Paul.
I mean, I know he comes back. You know, for certain ceremonies and whatnot. But I mean, he tells me like, yo, I go eat. I don't have to pay for it. These guys really.
That's
look
dope.
out for me in Boston, but I know it's a Patriot town as well. Red Sox. I went to I've never been to a Celtic game or a Red Sox game, but I went to a Patriots game. I went to a playoff game when the Ravens won the Super Bowl. I went to that game where the Ravens beat the Patriots.
Oh,
damn. Boston was awesome because as a kid, being from Vegas, right? As a kid, you wake up and you're like, used to be on Sunday mornings, welcome to CBS, and we're in Foxborough. And I'm like, I remember going, man, I'm in Foxborough. You know, that was like, as a kid, you're like, you know, from Vegas to West Coast, you're like, Foxborough, what the fuck is Fox? I mean, where the hell is Foxborough? You know, you're like, so I'm in Foxborough. I got my daughter with me and my wife, and my daughter's just like, oh, well, you know, I'm like, you have no idea what's going on here. And it was cold, that playoff game, man. It was cold.
I bet.
So, but it's a good thing, man. Fenway's our next stop. Is that what we really want to see? I wish I could have seen the old Madison Square. I mean, the Garden. But Fenway's the next. I'm a big baseball fan. I love baseball. So Fenway's the next stop for the East Coast. I've been all the Yankee stadiums and the. Most
Larry, if you come into town, if we end up going to a Red Sox game together, I know the Red Sox organist, so we can go up and check out his stuff after the game or whatever. If you come into town.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, that's a historical park, man. So I know they're taking a little bit of heat right now for the fans and the Torrey Hunter situation, but it is what it is. I mean, that's a historical park. I mean, what I do with my daughter is, my son is funny. My son just became a firefighter here in Vegas in Clark County. He's 27. Right. And it's funny because me and him go to baseball games, but me and my daughter have adopted this father-daughter thing where we go to every stadium. So we take like 6 or 7 days off. We can't do it now, but we'll literally go to 5 stadiums in 5 days and just travel. And just me and her get that quality time. And so one of the biggest things is Boston. That's what we've been to we've been to Wrigley, we've been to Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium. So like the biggest one left is is Fenway. So it's like, all right, we gotta go sit in Fenway. And my bookkeeper, she's from Boston too. She's like, Larry, you're gonna love Fenway. You know, it's like, all right, I hope so.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely an experience, you know, because it's so old and it's like weird and it's got lots of character and all that good stuff. You know, It's not like new and sterile, and don't get me wrong, the new parks are beautiful, but, you know, they're all very well thought out and engineered and it's like there's not as much character as a place like Fenway for sure.
Right. Wrigley was the same way to me. Wrigley was old school. It was, you know, you're like, all right, this is different. You know, you go from the Giants Stadium to Wrigley and you're like, okay, all right, this is a little different, but it was a fun time. You know, it was a good time. The people have a good time. So I'm looking forward to getting back to normal. But I promise you come to Vegas, man, we're gonna turn all the way up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a good time. You know
Larry, I promise you later today he's gonna be like, so Vegas, huh? Maybe there's a reason to go out there. We're definitely at this point, like a lot of people, we're and I get it. You know, everyone needs to stay safe and stuff, but we're still eager to, you know, get out for some adventure and stuff. So we'll definitely be thinking about Vegas. That's for sure.
That's right, man. That's my word. All right. Well, thank you guys again for having me, man. Much respect, man. Big respect.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Thanks,
Larry.
Man.
We'll talk with you soon, and we appreciate you.
All right. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Be safe.
All right. I'll tell you what, Larry is probably feeling fortunate that we didn't ask him to sing, or I didn't ask him to sing. What are you missing? See, this happens every day on the show. Eric just gets up and leaves, doesn't say a word, just leaves me hanging here, talking. Oh, it's in your shoe. It's in my shoe.
almost lost my shit.
So thanks so much to Larry for coming on the show. We really appreciate him. And he's a really cool dude. That was a good interview. I had no idea. I had no idea that. So, what's up, Jason? How are you, bud?
Exhausted. I am. Exhausted.
We do need to.
Hey, it's been a long day. I worked out this morning. What y'all talking about? It's so
You've been up for like 7 hours already.
Bro, I've been up since 4 a.m.
Oh, 4.
4 a.m. I woke up. Bro, I'm exhausted.
That's early.
Yeah.
Did you hear the neighbors fighting or something?
I get up for a workout. No, I had to go. So, and Planet Fitness was trying to get me today.
What are they trying to do?
Because, they all closed in Massachusetts, so I don't get charged. But they're open in Rhode Island, so people in Rhode Island still getting charged. So when I go to Rhode Island to work out,
they're kind of like, huh?
Well, on the thing it says that we get a credit, and so it says that I actually had an extra $15 in my account. So she was like wondering like, why did you pay extra when it's like month? She was trying to figure out like why.
Oh, and then you were like, well, I'm from Massachusetts, and then she's like, huh, that means you're not actually paying it at all.
Exactly.
And so was she trying to be like, you should pay?
Nah, she just was.
Oh, okay.
Nah, they don't care.
I don't know.
They better not care. Goddamn $15, bro. You trip off of $15. I'm not going, homie. Period. $15 a month, bro. You gonna trip off of that? $15? Come on.
Pearson, who like stays up like 23 hours a day, especially because the way that the sun is in Alaska, right? There's only like 1 hour of darkness. Pearson's like, hold my beer. Pearson's been up for like 3 weeks straight now. Plus, he has a cute little kid that keeps him real busy. Johnny Tusak says he stayed up all night so that he wouldn't sleep through the show. See, we recommend that for everybody. Johnny Tusak, you're leading by example, and we appreciate that. Everyone should be staying up all night.
Hell nah.
Everyone should be staying up all night to make the show, and then you all get to go to bed as soon as the show's over. Oh, we need more weed.
Yep, look like we ran out of weed. Where's all the weed?
Where's the weed sponsor?
Man,
sounds like
what we need.
Sounds like Larry. I think I don't know.
Larry, like, yeah, I ain't finna get in trouble. You crazy?
Yeah, Larry's like, you can pay for weed.
He's shipping nothing.
Larry's like, I support businesses. I don't support. Although it was interesting because he was saying about the dude who, just. I was ready to be like, yeah, Eric likes to T-bag. He likes to smoke all day too.
That's all I do. Hey, he talking about he gonna help open up small business. He ain't gonna hit me up. Open up my small business. Hit up my small business. What you talking about?
Then otherwise, everyone in the comments is like, wait a second, I got a small business. I do too.
Okay, this ain't y'all. It's not y'all. I need
Eric's
this.
Like mute for 30 minutes. Mute for 30 minutes. Mute for 30 minutes.
Mute forever. Mute. You don't see the page no more. You mentioned something. I am a trendsetter. We all know that. No, Johnny, I'm the trendsetter. I'm the trendsetter.
Hey, Johnny Two Socks,
I set the trend.
I don't want you to reveal where you're from. You don't have to do that. But are you sort of in the area of the country near Vegas, or are you south near Vegas, or are you south on the East Coast?
He in Texas.
Oh, he is?
I don't know. He got to be in Texas.
You think so? I was thinking he was like Arizona or New Mexico. But that's not my point. You need to say, Johnny Juice House, you should come out to Vegas with us. Whose mic keeps cutting out?
Probably mine because I was holding it.
Oh, yeah. Eric holds his mic down here. So then he has. That's why I tell everyone to eat the mic. Just the way it is. You got to eat it. So we're
at the end of the show because it's time to go and we don't want to talk to y'all no more. and it's time to smoke. You get it? Peace.